Hello and welcome to Spectrum News at 12. I am Uyaya Nekan coming to you live from the beautiful hills of Evacuation. Let's take a look at the headlines. Nigeria tasks new ECOWAS leadership on lingering issues.
According to reports,
orders immediate evacuation of refugees along Uyo Village Road. Drought emergency declared in northern Italy. We'll bring you details of the stories and more in a moment. First in our news today is a report that Nigeria has called on the President Sissoko Embalo-led new leadership of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, alongside a newly composed commission to work harder to resolve lingering issues in the region. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo made the call yesterday while speaking with journalists at the end of the 61st Ordinary Session of ECOWAS held in Accra, Ghana. Osinbajo, who noted that President Nana Akufo-Addo did an excellent job in a very challenging period in the history of ECOWAS, stressed that many of the challenges remain. According to the Vice President, the new leadership must step up efforts and address the many responsibilities the region faces today. He listed economic challenges, especially with the Russia-Ukraine crisis and economic problems and coups that have taken place in the region in the past couple of years, amongst others. Earlier in the session, Akufo-Addo had recognized Nigeria's leadership role in addressing other challenges across the region, especially the menace of coups, terrorism, and deteriorating humanitarian situations. To politics now, where the Accord Party has accused the All Progressives Congress (APC) and People's Democratic Party (PDP) of buying and stockpiling voters' cards ahead of the 2023 election. A statement by media aide to the party's candidate Stephen Owolabi warned that the actions by APC and PDP will plunge the state into serious crisis during the poll. According to the Accord Party, many agents of both the PDP and APC are moving around the wards and units, inducing electorates with money while promising them more money on the election day. Meanwhile, following the burning down of INEC office in Iboise North local government area of Enugu State, INEC has said 748 ballot boxes and 240 voting cubicles have been lost in the fire attack. National Electoral Commissioner for Information and Voter Education, Festus Okoye, said in a statement that the resident electoral commissioner, Rec Emeka Onanomadu, reported that the office was touched on Sunday. Reports say the arsonists overpowered security guards and forced their way into the premises to set the building ablaze, adding that no casualties have been reported. INEC says the commission has since substantially recovered from the attacks and has resumed normal activities, including the CVR and collection of PVCs, noting that the Commission will continue to work with the security agencies and the emergency services to protect our facilities. Away from that, Bayelsa State Governor Doye Diri has stressed the need to allow the establishment of functional state-owned police across Nigeria. Diri spoke during the gala night to wrap up the 2022 Ijaw Diaspora Convention in Newark, New Jersey State in the United States of America. Speaking on the state of insecurity in the country, the Bayelsa State Governor said the operations of state police would end the state of insecurity in the country. According to a statement by his director of new media, Dr. Kola Oredipe, the governor, who insisted on the restructuring of the Nigeria and devolution of powers to the state, maintained that the federal government should respect the true dictates of a federal system of government that is fashioned after the U.S. democratic system, where equity, fairness, and justice remain the order of the day. Away from that, a 25-year-old suspected kidnapper from Shogom local government area of Gombe State has been nabbed by the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps for an alleged attempt to kidnap a 70-year-old Usman Mohammed in Kubara, a border town between Biliwi and Kaltungo local government area. Parading the suspect, State Commandant Waziri Goni described the suspect Lawal as a serial kidnapper that gave security agencies difficult times in the past, adding that he had caused havoc with his gang. Goni, who revealed that the Corps succeeded in quelling the attack through the collaboration of residents, urged them not to relent in providing accurate information that will make the state more peaceful. We move to Kaduna State now, where disturbed by negative flood prediction for Kaduna metropolis and environs by the Nigeria Meteorological Agency NIMET, officials of the National Emergency Management Agency NEMA Northwest Zone yesterday, accompanied by stakeholders, embarked on the sensitization tour of the state to warn against the dangers of flooding. The Assistant Zonal Coordinator NEMA Northwest, Amina Haman, told newsmen during the tour that the indiscriminate dumping of refuse should be blamed for most flood incidents in the Kaduna metropolis. Represented by the Assistant Chief Information Officer Halima Suleiman, the coordinator said they were out with stakeholders to sensitize people on mitigating floods. Back here, residents of Uyo metropolis have decried the refuse dump at Uyo Village Road, describing it as a menace to the proposed Uyo capital city ambience. Speaking with Spectrum Television, the people noted that the stink coming up from the dump site is not only dangerous to health of residents, especially those living within the dump area. The people also noted that the dump site has caused traffic congestion in the area and called on the state government to direct relevant agencies to handle the menace. Our correspondent has the rest of the report.
18,000 tons of waste is being generated within Uyo capital city per day. Usually, this waste gets dumped at Uyo Village Road, which links the government house to Ikpa Road and other roads in Uyo town. This dump site has over time become a menace, obstructing free flow of traffic, causing air pollution due to the stench, and exposing residents to health hazards. Correspondents who spoke with Spectrum Television decried the state of the environment and how it affects people plying the road.
So I pass here every day. You have to come and wait for a tipper like that you have seen to come and pour it on the road. You wait for the tipper to finish before you go. Is that fair? I don't need to talk about that one. Everybody knows about the health hazard. I'm not a doctor, but everybody, even a small child, will tell you that it's not good for human health. So tell them to come and clear it and make this place passable, and that's all.
I've been using this road for a long time now, and the place is always smelling. And the worst part of it, bringing all those waste bin to the main road, instead of them putting it inside, and it's not good. A lot of times when we come, we need to park like 30 minutes, 1 hour before we can pass because of the truck, the tippers that is bringing the waste bin. So it's not good. It's not even good. There are a lot of cars that are coming. They don't have AC to wind up and put themselves. So it's not good.
They also called on the government to find a more conducive environment for such a huge dump sites rather than inconveniencing citizens and endangering the lives of residents within the environment. Edidion Martin reporting for Spectrum Television. According to report,
in a related development, Akwa Ibom state government has given a 48-hour marching order to all relevant authorities to ensure the evacuation of refuse along Uyo Village Road for free flow of vehicular and human traffic. The government's order was handed down by the Secretary to the State Government, Dr. Emmanuel Akuem, yesterday when he undertook an inspection of the dump site along with all relevant government officials in the state environment sector. Dr. Emmanuel Akuem said, as part of remedial measures toward clearing up the menace of the dump site, an asphalt inroad should be created to enable trucks drive about 50 meters from the road into the ravine where the refuse will be dumped to stop the damage effect of roadside dumping of refuse. He called on the Commissioner for Works, Dr. Eno James Ibanga, and the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of Hensec Construction Integrated Services, Engineer Uwemo Koko, to work out the engineering content of the remedial work plan for the Uyo Village Road within 48 hours in collaboration with the Chairman of the Akwa Ibom State Environmental Protection and Waste Management Agency, Prince Akpan Hinam Ikum. While acknowledging the quantum of waste at the dump sites which could be converted into needed energy and power for consumption, the Secretary to the State Government called on the Commissioner for Power, Dr. John James Itam, to reactivate plans for the recycling of the waste into veritable source of energy for the state. The government's high-powered inspection tour included the Commissioner for Environment and Solid Minerals, Sir Charles Udon, Commissioner for Power and Petroleum Development, Dr. John James Itim, Commissioner for Works, Professor Eno James Ibanga, and the Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Comrade Inie Nemobo, represented by the Director of Public Relations, Grace Akban, amongst others. To Africa now, where the Democratic Republic of Congo's President Felix Tshisekedi will meet his Rwandan counterpart Paul Kagame for talks in Angola this week. Congo government says the meeting would be an opportunity to discuss current diplomatic issues between both countries. Reports say there has been a surge of attacks in eastern Congo by the M23 rebel group, which Kinshasa accuses Kigali of backing. Meanwhile, Rwanda has denied supporting the rebels and has in turn accused Congo of fighting alongside insurgents, a face-off that has raised fears of fresh conflict in the region. Away from that, Sudan's top general has announced that the armed forces would step away from government in a bid to resolve the political crisis. In a televised speech, coup leader Abdel Fattah said the army would make way for a civilian government. Borhan, while calling on the various components of the people, especially the youth, to adhere to peace, noted that everyone has the right to express their opinion and stressed that the sacrifices of the people are appreciated and their hopes for a democratic transition fulfilled. Reports say Monday's announcements came after 5 days of peaceful sit-ins by pro-democracy groups. Recall that since last year's coup, the UN and other regional blocs have tried to broker a way out of the political deadlock. On the foreign scene, US police have arrested a suspect after 6 people were killed in a mass shooting at an Independence Day parade in Highland Park, Illinois. US police said 22-year-old Robert E. Cremo III was detained after a brief chase, adding that the gunman had climbed onto a roof, shooting randomly at spectators using a high-powered rifle. Meanwhile, President Joe Biden has said he was shocked by the violence. In another development, Italy has declared a state of emergency in 5 northern regions surrounding the Po River amid the worst drought in 70 years. Emilia-Romagna, Friuli, Venezia, Guila, Lombardy, Piedmont, and Veneto will be given £36.5 million in emergency funds to tackle the water shortage. The drought threatens more than 30% of Italy's agricultural produce, according to the agricultural union Coldiretti. Reports say unusually hot weather and low rainfall across winter and spring has compounded water shortages in northern Italy, noting that several municipalities have already announced water rationing. The Italian government has said the state of emergency is aimed at managing the current situation with extraordinary means and powers, noting that it could take further measures if the situation did not improve. Still on the foreign scene, Russian President Vladimir Putin has congratulated Russian troops for achieving victory in Ukraine's Lugansk region. Ukraine's military has announced that it had been forced to withdraw from the critical city and said Russia is preparing for an assault on the Donetsk region, which is still controlled by Kiev. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said the retreat was meant to save the lives of Ukrainian troops. Meanwhile, at least 6 people were reportedly killed and 15 injured during shelling on the eastern Ukrainian city of Sloanhex on Sunday, with the nearby city of Kremenchuk hit with 3 missile strikes. Still to come in the news. CAF plans to kick off $200 million African Super League in August 2023. Do stay with us. Much thanks for staying tuned. On our business news, the federal government has developed and issued an insurance guideline to drive the retention of oil sector financial spending in Nigeria and help reverse capital flight. Speaking on strengthening Nigerian content implementation with the 7 ministerial regulations at the ongoing Nigeria Oil and Gas Conference in Abuja, the Executive Secretary, Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, Simbi Wabote, said the guideline was in accordance with the law. Wabote explained that the guideline would also help to create a database of all insurance programs procured by operators, project promoters, alliance partners, and Nigerian indigenous companies to enable the board to monitor utilization of in-country insurance capacity. He said the implementation framework of the guideline highlighted the specific directorates of the board and their responsibility regarding the implementation of the insurance guideline. Reports say the guideline will contribute significantly towards promoting the development of insurance services in country, and it will also drive the retention of financial spending in Nigeria, thereby contributing towards reversing capital flight. Still in business, data from the Nigeria supply industry has shown there has been a drop in the combined generation capacity of Nigeria's 26 power plants by 70%. A breakdown of the data showed that the 4 hydro plants under the power purchase agreements, such as Kanji Hydro Plant, with an original 760 megawatts capacity, had 153 megawatts capacity as of July last year, while Jiba, with 576 megawatts capacity, Shiroro plants with a nameplate capacity of 600 megawatts dropped to 248 megawatts, while Mapon with 40 megawatts capacity did not generate any power as of last review date. Reports say the country's power generation had as of last month crashed to an all-time low of 9 megawatts per day. Recall that the chairman, Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, Sanusi Garba, had in a briefing with newsmen in Lagos recently said the entire value chain of the power sector, comprising the DISCOS, GENCOS, and TCN, had committed to signing a contract to deliver 5,000 megawatts of electricity to electricity consumers. In health, public health experts have said as the country recovers from the COVID-19 pandemic, the federal government should strengthen health emergency preparedness based on One Health approach. The experts noted that the country could build resilient health systems and an equitable society that would ensure universal health coverage and social protection mechanism for all. Recall that One Health is an integrated, unifying approach that aims to sustainably balance and optimize the health of people, animals, and ecosystems. The experts also noted that the economic interventions, political agreements, and social justice policies targeted at addressing socio-economic inequities driving conflicts across the country would support Sustainable Development Goals 10 and reduce inequalities. Meanwhile, the bill for an act to amend the university teaching hospitals in the House of Representatives has continued to pit stakeholders in Nigeria's health sector against each other. Reports say the build-up to its public hearing postponed till July 27th is already fraught with disputes over competence and administrative titles. The bill, sponsored by Bamidele Salam of Osun State, seeks to change the nomenclature of the head of tertiary health institutions in Nigeria from Chief Medical Director and redefine the qualification of the head of tertiary hospitals. It also seeks to provide a definite tenure of office for the heads of tertiary hospitals, including students of health sciences in the training programs of tertiary hospitals, including hospitals established post-enactment of the extant legal framework in the schedule, and for other related matters. Restructure the composition of the governing boards of the federal government tertiary hospitals, amongst others. Reports say by implication, any health professional, including pharmacists, laboratory technicians, nurses, and others, can now head teaching and tertiary hospitals as opposed to the current hierarchy that medical doctors occupy. In sports, South Africa's Banyana secured a 2-1 win over Nigeria's Super Falcons in their opening 2022 Women's Africa Cup of Nations in Cameroon. The opening exchanges proved to be an evenly contested affair, although both sides struggled to carve out chances in the opening 20 minutes. Then Banyani Mbene came to Banyana's rescue in the 24th minute as the defender did well to thwart Asisat Oswala in the box after being played through on goal. Recall that matches between the two countries in the past have not been high-scoring affairs, with their last encounter being decided on penalties in 2018 final, which Nigeria won. Meanwhile, the Confederation of African Football (CAF) has announced the proposed African Super League, which will feature the continent's biggest clubs, will kick off in August next year. CAF President Dr. Patrice Motsepe, who made the announcement, said the competition will have $100 million prize money. Motsepe announced that CAF Executive Committee has resolved to go ahead with the competition, adding that details including the official name will be unveiled at the launch event. CAF said the competition would breathe new life into African club competition, adding that winners and participants of the inaugural African Super League will receive significant prize monies, and the proceeds from the tournament will include substantial solidarity payments to all 54 CAF member associations. Reports say Enyimba of Aba is among teams expected to feature in the elite league based on continental pedigree. On our entertainment news, popular Afrobeat diva Tiwa Savage has reacted to the massive show of love from her fans, particularly the females. Savage, who is currently on City's tour in Europe to promote her Water and Gary EP, gave a show-stopping performance at the Trad Garden, Stockholm, Sweden on Sunday, July 3rd. The Somebody's Son singer left many of her female fans excited after she hyped them, expressing how beautiful and precious they were to her. Still gushing over her female fans' love for her, Tiwa confessed she would have had like 5 baby mamas if she happened to be a male artist. Meanwhile, Grammy-winning music star Burna Boy has identified his style of music as Afrofusion and not Afrobeats as presumed by many. Burna Boy spoke about the genre of music during the latest episode of the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast with King Gilly and Wallace Peoples. He explained that African music, though comprising several genres, are usually all classified as Afrobeats. He faulted the school of thought that came up with the proposition, noting it was a disservice to other artists of other genres. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media, all of which you can find on our website at spectrumtv.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 12. I am Uyaya Nekan. Thanks for watching and do enjoy the rest of your day.